Lee, thank you for being an amazing father to a beautiful girl. Joy, you're a good mother, and it's seen in her life. Luke, you loved your sister. You loved her well. Thank you for showing that to us. Chad, you're a man. You're a man's man. You're a God's man. And I just wanted to tell you that you have shown me a beautiful picture of what love is. Thank you. Trying to describe Lana, I tried to think of so many illustrations, examples, and things, and I have one thing that I want to read to you. But the fruit of the Spirit is love. Lana was love. The fruit of the Spirit is joy, peace, patience, kindness, gentleness, faithfulness, goodness, self-control. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, gentleness, goodness, faithfulness, self-control. That described Lana as good as I could do it. And I began to think and learn from Lana. What a great encourager. My goodness, I don't know a time when I haven't been with her family or with her where I didn't leave built up. I came to encourage, and I left encouraged every time. And I think of the fruit of the Spirit, and I know what that fruit is. It is a description of God. And our close proximity to our Savior will determine how that fruit shines. I've always heard that the fruit of the Spirit is not an apple, a grape, and an orange. They're not in different fruits. It's like a cluster of grapes. They all come in one. And that when the closeness to the Savior, as she drew close to her Savior, we saw a real picture of someone who reflected that fruit in a real, genuine way. And she continued to grow closer, as we've heard tonight, as she grew closer and closer to Him. She reflected in a more genuine way her Savior. And what did I learn from that? You know what I learned? I learned my closeness to Christ is going to determine and reflect the love that comes forth from my life. Our closeness to Christ determines and reflects the joy that comes forth. My closeness to Christ, it's going to describe and explain the patience and the peace and the kindness and the gentleness and the self-control. That comes forth, and it's a result of that. She was a living example of this, and I saw it in her life, and I just so thankful for that example, and that encourages me to draw close to my Savior. Last time we were with Lana, we left, and not knowing what was going to happen in the future, but we had received a call, and we kind of knew that we knew she was coming home. We really had that conversation that we may not see her again. And it was a Wednesday night, the night before she passed. I went out late to mow the yard. The neighbors probably didn't appreciate that because it was getting dark at the time, so I mowed in the dark. But I began to ponder Lana's life. I mean, just as it impacted me, I mowed the yard, and my thoughts were consumed with a few things, and I'd like to share those things with you. I began to think about that great cloud of witnesses. You know, John read in Hebrews 11, I think of Hebrews 12, verse 1, talking about the great cloud of witnesses. And I can't imagine how amazing her entry into heaven must have been. I think of Kyle Field and Aggie Land and how amazing it is to hear the roars when everybody runs out on the field and they get ready to play the game. And that has no comparison to what an amazing applause of entry that she must have received. Those that had gone before her in faith. And wow, encouraging her along the way, you know, as she went along the way. You know, the picture we begin to see was like this marathon. We run a marathon. People say life's like a marathon. Well, when they run the Olympics and do these games, y'all remember the final race. It's such a long race, or one of those last races, and they come into the stadium, and the stadium's there, and as they come running in, there'll be one come trickling in after this long race, and they have to run around the track to the finish line. And, I could see that picture in my mind of Lana running in to the stadium with the applause of heaven. And it so encouraged me. And I see that picture, and that picture just was sticking with me. And I started thinking, wow, what an amazing thing. I see that in heaven. Then I started dwelling on the thoughts of their loved ones, her parents, or, Lee, Joy, Chad, and Luke, and grandparents, and in-laws. And I started thinking, here's what came to me. I could hear, well done, daughter. Well done. Well done. Well done, wife. You've done good. You fought hard. You're finishing it. You're finishing this thing. And I could hear, sister, you can do this. You're going to be okay. And I just could hear those voices that we're just cheering her along and encouraging her, trying to be there for her as they're receiving her. And then I just started thinking, and I can only imagine that welcome as God says, well done, Lana. Well done, child. And just, holding her in his lap. And my final thought was, for me, I'm just thinking how Lana impacted me. I saw Lana as I'm pushing that lawnmower. I saw Lana in the stands as I'm running into that stadium. And I saw her, come on, you can do it. That can't get you down. Keep fighting. Press on. Hold on. Finish the race. Run the race God called you. I ran mine. I've done it before. I've experienced it. You can do it too. Thank you.